Max Verstappen managed to get 9 wins in the 2024 season, more than any other driver on the grid. At the start of the season his package was fastest, but after the Miami upgrades for McLaren, things had changed. His own car, the RB20, started having balance problems and the competition was just as fast or faster. Still, Max Verstappen managed to get wins at that stage, and the one this video is about might be his best one. After the one in Brazil, of course. I made a video a while ago about the 3 races Verstappen shouldn't have won in 2024, and many people commented that I should have included this race. I obviously listened to my audience, so here goes. Let me take you back to the Canadian Grand Prix, where wet and dry conditions made this one of the best races of the 2024 Formula 1 season. I'm Wimbo. Here's 3 seconds to leave a like. Max Verstappen was never the favourite to win this race, as the RB20's biggest weakness was riding bumps and curbs. This semi-street track has plenty of those. McLaren and Ferrari were regarded as the sure winners of this race, especially after Leclerc won in Monaco. So the pole for the race was won by George Russell. Max Verstappen set the same time, but after the Englishman did it. The McLaren duo was on the second row, with Norris on P3, and in P5 we saw Daniel Ricciardo. We almost forgot he drove for RB half a season. We have the Ferrari duo in the midfield, who were good on Friday, but on Saturday for some reason their pace was gone. And further back at 15 we had Sergio Perez, another driver who, like Ricciardo, won't be seen on track this season. Then again, you never know, nobody's safe. Surprisingly, the wet start didn't cause any crashes and the race went on, as did the drizzle from the sky. Haas had the brilliant idea to start on extreme wet tyres, and that really worked. K-Mag passed one driver after the other with the extra grip he had. It was amazing to see, and it looked like a great choice for a while. Leclerc had an engine issue, as was heard on the radio. And then Sargent was in the wall, another driver who's not with us anymore. Well, not in Formula 1. I'm sure he's just fine. Old rivals Hamilton and Alonso were scrapping it out, and it saw Hamilton locking up and going straight. Something we would see happen to many drivers that race. Unfortunately for Kevin Magnussen, there was no safety car and he had to change to inters under normal conditions. To make matters worse, his pit stop was slow, and he lost all the places he gained. He definitely deserved more. He's out of F1 too, driving for BMW in WEC now. Max Verstappen was told there was more rain to come, which was fine by him as he's pretty much the best driver in the rain. Still, he almost crashed and drove through that weird blue stuff. I don't know what it is. Around lap 15, Russell in the lead and Verstappen in P2 were fighting it out. It was very hard to pass as there were only small dry tracks on the tarmac. As the track got drier, the momentum moved more towards McLaren, and Norris passed Verstappen and set after Russell. Russell made an error during his defense against Norris and lost 2 places because Max passed him too. Then it was time for Bernd Maylander to start his engines because his most valued customer Logan Sargent crashed. He had a very dry spell in the 2024 season. I wonder if it was because Sargent was replaced. Most drivers in front pitted very quickly, but McLaren decided to keep Norris out 1 lap longer. He was setting the fastest lap when he came in, and they probably expected that he'd lead with a bigger margin. They were wrong. Norris rejoined in P3 just in front of his teammate Piastri. Bad call for McLaren. I hope they learn from it. Lap 29 and Verstappen did what he's done well so many times. He had a great restart and nobody got close. Leclerc was so far back at this point that he just wanted to do something different. So on this cold, damp track, he was fitted with hard tires. Right. Then we saw the most beautiful overtake of the 2024 season, in my opinion. I don't understand why F1 picked the Perez overtake as the best one. Maybe they knew he'd be gone. I don't know. Alex Albon maneuvered himself at full speed between Ricciardo and Ocon with great precision. It was amazing to see. At lap 42, Norris had an off just before the next round of pit stops, where everyone got rid of their inters and continued on slicks. Russell was fitted with hards, whereas the rest took mediums. This was an exciting time in the race, where it looked like 4 drivers could win it. It was anybody's really, as the car reacted different to the drier conditions. Everyone pitted except Lando Norris, who was granted another lap in free air on worn inters, and this time he came out of the pits just in front of Max Verstappen. Max's tyres were already at the right temperature, but Norris's weren't, so Lando had massive wheel spin, coming dangerously close to crashing, and Verstappen steamed past. Lap 49 saw Russell passing Norris in a great fight between the two compatriots. And then we saw Perez with a broken wing. He had a whole season with incidents like this, but I heard he wants to think about his future for 6 months and then decide if he's coming back. Hopefully in a more suitable car. Then a bit of chaos. Carlos Sainz spun in the same place as Perez and accidentally crashed into Albon. Very unfortunate for the 2 teammates at Williams this season. Piastri was forced to fend off Russell and call me crazy, but the president of the GPDA didn't drive all that cleanly there. Piastri is part of the HAF club, so he didn't budge, but that looked messy. Hamilton on mediums then passed Piastri, after he had already been passed by Russell. A little while later, the hard tyres were optimum for Russell, and he passed both of them for P3. Max Verstappen had one tense moment when he almost touched the wall, but after that he just simply lovely won this exciting wet-dry race in Montreal, Canada. Now, people count this win as one of the early 2024 wins where Red Bull was the strongest, but they actually weren't. They won this race thanks to a solid strategy and Max's brilliant driving. It was a first blow to the competition, who thought they had Max in the ropes, but he came out victorious. I wonder how things will go in 2025 when all these legends battle it out in 24 races. Strong lineups at Ferrari and McLaren, and 2 unknowns at Mercedes and Red Bull. Will Mercedes get things back on track? Will the RB21 be a lot better than the RB20? Will Project 667 at Ferrari be a success? Well, I don't know. I just know I'm excited. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I want to point out that I have memberships enabled for early access and extra content. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. Take care now. Doei doei.